There we go. Awesome. Thank you everyone for coming out. I'm going to tell you about my stupid project I did the 4th of July, put down for a while, and then picked back up. So I started coding with agents a lot at the beginning of the year, like a lot of people did, and I was really curious like how much of my code that I'm committing is actually from the AI. So went to the Cursor dashboard, it was like, you did 45,000 lines of AI code, but then GitHub was like, you did 6,700. So I was like, that's not gonna work. So I started thinking like, how would I go about solving this problem? And I realized that pretty much everything that the other agents were doing to measure this stuff just doesn't work. How can you possibly know how much code actually makes it to production, which lines are AI, which lines are human, unless you're right there with Git. So I do what every smart person does, and I'm like, I'm just gonna re-implement Git. It has since become a Git wrapper, but you can install this on your computer. It's a one-line install, and then whenever you have AI write code into your project, we'll have it go add some math to this file. I hate how they think so much these days. This isn't that hard, man. Connection error. No, demo gods. I did my offering. Here, let's use something, composer. There we go, let's see if this works. It's really thinking hard about this. Well, I can skip a few steps. Didn't think about this part. Cool, so basically what this would have done if the coding agent was working is add code to my project, and Git AI has automatically turned on hooks. So every time that Cursor or Claude Code or GitHub Copilot writes code, right before it writes the code, it'll snapshot the file, and right after it snapshots it again. And that allows me to pick up basically the incremental diff and see, oh, Aiden wrote all these lines, but Cursor wrote all of these lines. So I have my own implementation of Blame now. I can see exactly which lines in my code base were written by AI. And because we're real professionals and we're actually using Git every day, this has to survive rebases, resets, like all the gnarly stuff we do, squashes, and that's actually super difficult because we're saving this information in Git notes. So every time I generate code with AI, it's gonna save a note, and these notes will tell me basically the prompt and the ranges in that commits context where the code was generated. So this is all happening in the background. You don't need to do anything, just install the binary and all just starts to work. And to show you just how gnarly this can get, I have a cherry pick I'm doing from a completely different branch with a completely different history over here in the corner. I'm going to cherry pick into the repo, and then when I do Git AI blame on this file set.ts, it will bring in all of the AI attributions from over there. Oops, I have to add it first. Git add. Continue. Awesome. So there I am doing real Git commands. I can look at this file, and I have a bunch of stuff that Cursor wrote for me there. So basically, this will work however you have your Git flows set up. It will save all of the code there. And we found it to be really useful on our team for all kinds of reasons. One of them is load-bearing walls. There's code there that the AI wrote. You have no idea why it's important. And this has told me multiple times, hey, don't delete that. It's there for a reason. Another thing is during review, we found it to be really, really useful to be able to see which code in the PR came from the agent, which code came from the human. I find that I review that code very differently depending on its source. And the last thing is you can start to see like how many incidents are actually caused by AI-generated code in your repo, and all kinds of cool stuff like that. So, like I said, I put this down for a while, and then like 4 months later, randomly just a bunch of gigantic companies started asking me questions like, how do I roll this out with MDM onto every developer's computer? So we started you can see where all the effort's been recently. When we started doing all this enterprise deployment stuff, we've got a couple 10,000 plus person companies rolling it out. Question time, right on time. Pardon?
What's your name and the name of your
Oh, my name is Aiden Kniff, and this project is called Git AI.
Okay.
There is a GitHub repo, and there's a QR code you all can scan if you want to add it to your computer.
Thank you.
In the back.
Any plays on offering as an MCP server instead of me having to curl it?
For install, you probably gotta have to curl it, but yeah, there's some cool MCP servers you could build to provide the context we save to the agents and hopefully, I don't know, raise their IQ by 10 points. It's on a bell curve, so 10 points is actually a lot. Yes. Yeah, you go.
The lucky one. I'm surprised it's not 100% AI yet, but what's your experience on kind of like how many lines of code are written by AI now and how many are by human, and what do you think in the future 100% will be written by AI? How do you think of evolving this?
The Git AI code base is around 80% AI code, but it's been reviewed, it's been audited, there's a lot of human code in the mix. So I'd say it's still a lot of planning, but the execution is often the agent. Steve?
Yeah, I see the support table here. Are the hooks into the different agent events like drastically different between agent to agent? And kind of, if you could high level describe what some of those are.
Yeah, the question was how do you integrate sort of the other agents? There's a guide here and sort of a how stuff works page, but basically you send in a certain format every time that has like the message transcript, the agent, the model you're using, a lot of that sort of metadata that helps people sort of understand the context of this later.
That's time. A dope job.